All right, hello. We're going to be painting a little beach scene here. So give us some practice with graded washes, wet into wet in a couple different spaces, and with salt. So kind of some advanced texture techniques now. And I'm gonna start with, I have a really nice clean white, clear water would be the right way to say it. Although my brush looks like it's got a little bit of yellow in it. That's not helpful. We'll use yellow up here. And I'm gonna wet this because it's gonna be wet into wet. And I put the only things on my page to start where I gave myself a horizon line and a little cloud edge here. And I'm not actually gonna come up to that line in the clouds because I'm gonna wanna come back and erase it later. So I'm not gonna paint over it, but I just wanna give myself an indication where to stop that. And I'm gonna make my clouds, sort of the space behind the clouds as if like the sun is going down behind them or something. Kind of this bright yellowy-ish. I got a little yellow, a little orange in there. And I'm just going to put this in here. And I'm going to let it kind of fade. Come up to that edge a little bit so that the color can go in there. Looks like I probably could have used a little more paint on my brush because with the water behind it, it's kind of fading out. Maybe I'll take a little more yellow in here. There we go. Maybe just a touch orange. I just want to get some color and I want it to be able to bleed into that. So there we go. So there's behind my clouds. A little more color range. Get something interesting in there. There we go. That'll blend in. All right, now I'm going to clean my brush really well. I want it to be, so I'm testing it on my paper towel to make sure it really is back to white, clean water, or to give me the white. And I'm going to come up to this cloud line again, but I'm leaving it just wet. And I'm going to come up to my horizon line and wet this because I want some wet into wet blending action. It's like a color blend or a graded wash, but I'm just going to do this corner and I don't want it to overlap that cloud edge. So let's see. So this is going to be as if it's the sky. So let's do some blue, maybe a touch of purple. I like to always blend, not use colors straight out of the palette, so that I can get some variation into what I'm working on, make it look more realistic. Maybe even add just a tiny touch of the orange to it to kind of break the color, meaning make it not too like fake looking. And I want a little more than I think I need here because this is already wet, so it's gonna fade it a little. And then I'm gonna bring this in. Yeah, see, it's already kind of fading it on me. And I want a graded wash here, so I'm coming this way because it's gonna fade that way. And I wanna give it the look of just letting this be perhaps a cloud or something that's coming in here. And I want this to be a sharper edge, so I'm going to bring my color right to that edge. There we go. Maybe I'll add a little bit, variation to my color. Let this blend in, not getting too close to the edge to give it that soft edge there. So this is going to move and blend that way. This is going to look like the edge of my cloud behind there. I'm going to clean my brush off really well. And I'm going to do some sandy, beachy, salty looking stuff on the bottom here. So with that, I want this to be really wet. I need a good amount of water and a good amount of paint for the salt to work. Now what I did, I went too close. I want to set an edge here if I can. I'm going to leave a little bit of white space there too. So we're practicing a few things on this little study. We're practicing leaving an edge so that I can get a sharper edge when I want it. We're practicing letting the wet into wet, graded washes kind of things blend into each other. And we're practicing with the salt. So for the salt to work, I need a good amount of pigment. So I have nice water there. I probably should have gotten my pigment. I like to get my paint mixed up first. Jack, can you let the dog in? Excuse me for that. All right, so now I got a good amount of paint on here. There we go. I'm gonna start this way. Let that kind of blend in. This would be my beachy scene over here. And I can do little things like maybe here comes the dog. I could add like a little edge here if I wanted. Just a little bit to get some like, I don't want that. I'm going to bring that back. Come on back. Just to define that edge. And I could come in after this is dry and play with this edge a little more if I wanted. But I want to get enough pigment here so that the salt works. Now, you can use like a sea salt or something. This is just my salt, regular salt shaker, regular table salt. I like the small little crystals in this one. And I'm just gonna get a bunch there, and you can see how it pulls the color. So I'm gonna let this dry for a long time, maybe even overnight, to get this sandy texture. And I should, when I'm all done then, this one's dry, I can brush it off. And I get this interesting sandy look. There you go. More things to play with. Thank you. What time is it? I can't do another. Damn it. All right. Oops, stop it.